These are the 9 reframes I rely on to make my life work better. Hi, my name's Tyler and I am a certified hypnotherapist, and I help people live better lives by gaining clarity and direction like the thousands of people you're seeing right now. But this isn't some mystic woo-woo. All a hypnotist does is help you get the right perspective on your challenges in life. And the fastest way to do that is with what's called a hypnotic reframe. My promise to you is that if you stick to the end of this video, all you will need to do is listen. And there is a 90% chance you will have 1 to 2 major breakthroughs. All you have to do is sit back and relax, and your unconscious mind will do the rest. My ask to you is that when those breakthroughs do happen, take the 5 seconds to comment them in the comment section below to inspire myself and others. Deal? Because with these 9 hypnotic reframes, you will gain new perspectives on your life that will change everything. Let's get to it. You have an unlimited well of value deep down inside you right now, waiting to be tapped into. The simple seed I'd like to suggest is that emotion is currency. But you can set that aside for a moment, and let me tell you how this applied to me. I'd been roped into another get-rich-quick scheme that had told me, oh, if you just cold call 100 people a day, you will become a million zillion billionaire, and it's the only way to be a success and happy in life. And I had just finished my 100 calls and hadn't made a single sale. I was trying to sell books over the phone. Me versus Amazon. Wish me luck. So after a long day of defeat, I headed over to my favorite place to relax, Disneyland. By the way, back in the day, you could get an annual pass for $200. It was a great deal. And I did what I love most and just started doing magic for people like I do at Disneyland. And by the sheer grace of God, it kind of clicked after I had worked all day to try and make a sale. I noticed something that I had never taken notice of before. As I'm doing magic, I have nothing to sell, and yet people would be asking, hey, do you do corporate shows? Hey, do you do birthday parties? Can I get your card? And I, being a little slow, still hadn't caught on. And then this lady takes my hand and slaps a $20 bill in it and says, thank you, you made our trip. And it clicked. I was selling something. I was giving people positive emotions. And when you deposit enough goodwill into other people, they feel a need to give back. So, coming back to that concept we set aside earlier and looking at it now, what I realized was you can visualize people like emotional bank accounts, and you can deposit goodwill into them. And when you do, people naturally want to give back because emotion is currency and it compounds more quickly than money. And beyond that, it's free to print. That's right, you are your own Fed. So start investing in people's goodwill bank accounts today. But you might be asking yourself, how do I find these opportunities to give? This is how fasting taught me to warp reality to find new opportunities. You see, our minds are a lot more like a TV than you might think. And what channel your mind is on changes what you see in the world. But let's set that concept aside for a moment. First, let me tell you about how fasting taught me this lesson. So Lexi and I were doing a water fast for 3 days over in Montana. And for those of you who have fasted, you know, on the first day, you get really hungry and grumpy. We went out for a walk and we noticed how everyone kind of just seemed a little down and angry and upset. And then we went to bed and woke up in the morning. And on day 2, when you wake up from a fast, you feel amazing. And then we went out for a walk again, and everyone was joyous and happy, treating us well, literally walking up to us, stopping and saying, hi, complete strangers. It was a totally different vibe. Let me show you what was happening there with a simple example. Take a moment and look around your surroundings. Now, take a look at this red dot. You see, seeing the color red means that you're the kind of person who's going to be successful. The color red is actually associated with being a success, smart, and amazing. In fact, the more you see red now, the more you realize that all of your dreams will come true. Because red is just the color that makes people successful. Now, take a look around again and notice how much more red comes through. Notice all the red things that you didn't notice before. You see, what you see in this world is partially how you feel deep down inside. If you change your mood now, you'll change your life. So coming back to that concept of the emotional television channel inside your mind, how you feel changes how you see the world. Just like you saw more red, you can see more good, more sad, or more opportunities. It's all inside your mind. Oh, I bet we got that unconscious mind spinning there. If you're enjoying these kinds of ideas, you can get 15 more for health, wealth, relationships, and more for free as a bonus today when you join our Wizards Words newsletter for free. There I will send you insights just like this in 3 minutes or less. And as an added bonus, you will get 15 more reframes today with our fastest transformation course. So if that sounds interesting to you, click the link in the description below now. Don't worry, this video isn't going anywhere. Back to the video. This is the Jedi mind trick that allows you to have real mind control powers. The concept is simple. If you feel better, people will be naturally drawn to your perspective. And we'll discuss that in a second. But this is how it applied in my life. By the way, shout out to Casey, who said this changed her life when I taught her this. So I was working at one of the top real estate marketing agencies in California. And Casey would come in and say, "Hey, Tyler, can you come do that thing?" Now that thing was when very type A personalities came in and were very upset and aggressive. They would bring me in to talk to them, and magically all the problems would just go away. And this is how it works. So what's going on here is people have what's called a frame, and that's their version of reality that they're living in. And so what people are constantly trying to do is bring other people into their frame of reality so that there's consistency in their worldview. But the catch is, if you can offer people a better frame of reality, they will be naturally drawn to it, because who doesn't want to just feel better? So all you do is control how you feel inside, where you feel good, calm, fun, happy, and people will be naturally drawn away from feeling scared and angry and stressed. Now, on the negative side, they do have justifications. They say they're being safe, they're being rational, they're being smart, they're being pragmatic. And that isn't inherently true. These are feelings, not reality. Because you can feel good, happy, and calm and still be rational and smart. So all you have to do is come in and maintain your frame, regardless of the person being angry, and eventually they will shift to a happier, calmer place. And then what happens is the problems that actually exist come to the surface, and the ones that were imaginary because of the emotions they were feeling disappear. So coming back to that concept now, it's as simple as this. Feel towards others the way you want others to feel towards you. Now you might be saying to yourself, man, I need a little bit more time to really apply these concepts into my life. Well, this is how I learned to do more by doing less, with the power of meme magic. You see, oftentimes the thing that produces results is a really small set of things amongst a big cloud of things that don't really matter. So putting that aside, this is how it applied to me when I was starting my marketing agency. So I'm sitting there following all the rules. I'm making a blog. I made a website. I made a social media platform. I went on Facebook. I was going to networking groups. I was making conversations, doing all the things. And I spent 2 weeks building a website from scratch and writing these detailed blogs that were SEO optimized with meta tags and all this crap. And while I was doing that, anytime I found a funny meme related to marketing, I was just posting it to my Facebook group, just in my free time. Well, come to the end, and I had finally finished the website and was so proud. And I had gotten 5 people who had visited the website through Google. And I hop on over to Facebook to post that my website is now live, and I had acquired 2,000 followers. You see, there is activities that give you far more leverage in this world, and posting memes to Facebook back in the day was one of them. So the key here is, what you want to do is find out what those activities are and go all in on them. Or you'll end up like this guy here, where he starts digging for the diamonds and stops, and then goes and starts another path to get to the diamonds, and then stops, and just keeps doing that and doing that and doing that, and he never gets anywhere. So coming back to where we were, the key to recognize is now, anything but what needs to be done is holding you back. Which leads us to the most common limiting belief. The most common limiting belief is thinking that you aren't average. When I wanted to start going to the gym after having not done so for 6 years, I'd go on YouTube and look up all the advanced workouts and put together this nice long list of the best exercises you could do. And inevitably I would show up to the gym, do it for a day or two, and then immediately give up. So instead of assuming I'm special and gonna do the top workouts without any experience, I flipped that all on its head and said, what would be the workout routine that I would stick to if I was lazy, incompetent, and didn't know what I was doing? And so I set my plan based on that. I'll just show up to the gym for 5 minutes a day. That's all I gotta do is just walk in and I can walk out. And then slowly, over the course of a week or two, I went from showing up for 5 minutes to doing 30 minutes of cardio. And then, after a couple of months, I was lifting weights 3 times a week and doing an hour of cardio. You see, a simple plan that you stick to compounds every day, while the theoretical best plan that you don't stick to actually loses you results in the long run. So thinking back on that limiting belief you used to have now, you may have already recognized that a simple plan that's less than your best is more than enough. But now you're probably wondering, how do you even get started in the first place? Well, this bad habit skyrockets my productivity. So I'm sure you're familiar with the idea that you should consolidate your to-do list down to the one big thing that's going to make the biggest difference. And that's totally true. However, it's not what I do. So every morning I write out my to-do list and find the biggest thing that'll make the biggest difference, and I put it at the top. But I also add a secret second line, which is this. On the second line, I write a stupidly easy thing that it would just be a joke if I didn't do. So I call this the One To-Do List 3.0. And so what this does is it destroys procrastination entirely. Because identifying the biggest thing is the first step, but actually doing the biggest thing is the second step. And that's where most people get tripped up. So what you do is you set a second task that's the easy task that just gets the ball rolling. And it's so stupidly easy, you just are like, well, of course I can send an email. And then by doing that, you now have momentum and you put all that energy straight into the one thing at the top of your list. Because when it comes to procrastination, in doing anything, you do everything. But now you might be wondering, how do I find opportunities to use all this information for? This is how I turn every moment into gold with just one question. So a client of mine invited me to a networking group, and I was really nervous. I was surrounded by people smarter, richer, and just all around more successful than me. So I decided my strategy was going to be, I was going to shut up. That way, they could just assume I was stupid instead of confirm that I was in fact stupid. Now, as the conference was going on, each person would stand up and do like a little 5-10 minute speech. But the way it was set up is it was inside this big conference center, and people just kept walking through this doorway outside for like yoga classes and business meetings and things like that. And every time the door just like bam, 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 super loud. And it was very disruptive to the speeches. So after about the third time it happened, I just got up and propped the door open with the chair and then came back to the meeting. Now the meeting went by and one of the members came up to me and asked me, what do you do? Oh, I'm just starting a consulting business. This guy brought me here. And he said, if you're open to it, I'd love to interview you for a job. And I, being 19 and incompetent and needing money, was like, okay. And so then going to the interview, he told me this: you saw a problem and you fixed it. I like that, and I can work with that. So if you'd like to turn every moment in your life into gold, here's how. Anytime you go anywhere, simply ask, how can I help? But now you're probably wondering, how do I get conversations going in the first place so that I can find things to help with? I've been doing cold reading for 15 years, and this is my favorite principle: to never run out of things to say. So if you struggle in conversations because you don't know what to say, just realize this fact. Everyone's favorite subject is themselves. So if you just ask genuine questions of people, you never run out of anything to say, and they'll love the conversation. But the key is, this has to be genuine, and this one fact will make you have that happen instantly. Inside each and every person is something valuable, waiting to be discovered, if you but only ask the right question and listen. Which reminds me, what's one of your favorite personal growth books? Comment below. Now, what if personal growth could just happen for you on autopilot? Well, perhaps it can with this one secret. Everyone is sleeping on the real secret of compound interest. Now, most people know about compound interest. You invest a small sum of money over a long period of time and voila, you're a millionaire. But the real ROI comes from compounding habits. You see, money isn't the only thing that compounds. The habits that you develop compound as well. For example, knowledge compounds on itself. The more you know, the more you grow. Now, this also applies to bad habits. The more you smoke, the less healthy you become. So as we come back and look at the portfolio of the habits you're investing in, what is compounding in your life right now, for better and for worse, beyond physical assets? Whoo, I bet that fuzzy feeling in your head is an interesting sensation if you've never had hypnosis before. But the good news is, it's a very good thing. That feeling right there is your unconscious mind updating its software right now to live a better, happier, more meaningful life. If you'd like insights like this in 3 minutes or less for free, join the Wizard's Words newsletter. And when you join today, as a bonus, you are going to get 15 more reframes just like these for health, wealth, relationships, and more. This is our fastest transformation course. So click the link in the description now and sign up today.